Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. This is Derek, Professor Silly Gaming, and now that we have got the settlers, Preston and crew set up here at Sanctuary, they are happier. 73 happiness, moving on up. They've got adequate defenses, food, water, power, beds, etc., etc. Everything's good. We're moving on. Preston asked us to go talk to another site. So we're gonna take dog meat with us. I think dog meat is good now. So we're gonna head to, as we figured, we're moving to Tenpines Bluff. So I believe there's a road that heads that way, and I believe there is also some sites that we can come across on the way. And a little bit of extra experience points gets us closer to that local leader 2 and science 2 or 3, 4, etc. All of which is good for us. Okay, we have arrived at Tenpines Bluff. We've got a settler. They're going to probably pull a gun on me, but that's okay. All right, so yeah, until we do this, we can't do anything here. I'll just take a quick look. So we've got a little shack here with a couple of beds that normally can't be scrapped. We've got a broken down structure over here. I think there's a rad roach. Or 2. Or 3. So I'll just take care of them real quick. Right. All right. So Corvega, and it's not beginning to be close to night. So we need to go down there and we need to kill at least the leader of that raider gang. But we could probably do a little better than that. We could probably take quite a few of them out. Corvega is going to be a great location for pulling scrap and items to building sites. Although, frankly, Corvega is a lot closer to the drive-in, Starlight Drive-In. So I'll probably be using it more for that rather than Tenpines. All right, everybody, and I mean everybody that was at Corvega is now dead. So we've got access to this workshop here, and we can get started. Now, first things first, I completely redid their crops with the standard potatoes, corn, mut fruit, therefore adhesive. As far as my plan, there is this structure over here. In my zombie settlement build, I built a house out of it. I want to do that again, but this time I'm going to approach it a little bit differently. Instead of trying to snap in a floor and then snap from there and fidget with all that, we're going to be using some group select. I want to create a structure that nestles into the existing architecture that has no doorway. It will essentially become a basement. So the entire house, I'm going to use barn pieces, will be elevated, and then there'll be stairs leading down into this basement. So this is going to be the basement floor. This is the staircase that's going to lead to the main floor. Not sure which direction I want to do exactly. Now we're going to put some walls, mostly wood walls, because that's the height of the existing structure. But I'm going to fit a couple of concrete walls in here, frankly, because there's no good half-wall options in wood or steel. So I'm going to have to mix wood and concrete together to make happen what I want to have happen. Now, those concrete half walls do present a problem. I can put these upper level shack floors that are twice as thick everywhere where there's wood, but they won't snap where the concrete is, because the concrete is a different height ever so slightly, because I have the concrete pulled in a little bit. So I'm going to have to do thinner floors there, which is going to create a bit of a gap. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that quite yet. See how the concrete is up just a hair? It's the metal part of the concrete that's a little bit higher. Annoying. And now I can just move this whole thing over into position and get it to go to where it needs to go. Now, it won't turn green if it's sunk in at all. It stays The floor has to be above the floor of the existing structure. I'm gonna have to push it back as well. I'm gonna fidget with it. I'm gonna get into place, and then we'll go from there. All right, now that that's in place, I do want to add on to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of these side pieces out and put in some elevated floors, but I'm going to offset. So fortunately now I can just kind of walk in, check how the walls look, but I'm going to need to move this whole structure up and over in order to make those pieces snap into place. Fortunately, with the magic of quick save, if anything goes awry, I can always just reload a prior save and undo the problem. So I at least have that as a backup. Fortunately, in here, most of these pieces will snap back into place, no problem. So yeah, we're going to put the double thick floors in first, and then go from there. The idea here is that I don't want this farmhouse to look too boxy. So by creating these sort of, there'll be stairs leading down to these offset rooms on either side. And then from the top bottom, I can create a roofing structure that will look more organic and look more like an actual structure rather than one giant rectangular box. So by putting in a half wall, I should be able to get this to snap in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then when I lower it back down, those posts will be reaching the ground. And I'll just put a little half staircase in there. So one of them is going to be like a storage room, I think, and the other one is going to be a bedroom. Now that I've added those two side wings, I'm going to make sure that everything is just nicely centered back the way it was supposed to be. And I can best do that by going inside and just checking the original wood textures against what I've put in. And that looks pretty good right there. I've decided that in order to hide the gap between the wall and the floor, I'm just going to throw some concrete walls in here. These half walls and then these little like columns. Move things around a little bit so it doesn't look as odd. So move this one over, move the columns then in place here, and that way there's no gaps. All right, I can start building up the walls, and once I get one wall built up far enough to start working on the roof, then I can start working on the roof and then build my way down to make an interesting shape building. We're kind of leaving the build zone here a little bit in this corner, but that is okay. It's letting me, so not a big deal. I'm also going to build a deck. That's how they're going to get into the house. I want a couple of ways to get into the house, but there'll be a doorway here and then a front porch, elevated porch. Looks like some of the walls are going to be a little problematic. I'll need to lift the whole area up to put certain walls into place. Not a big deal. Okay, we've got a good start here, but we are running low on wood already. So I'm going to need to figure out how I'm going to get basically shipments of wood up here so that I can continue building. Codsworth and I completely cleared the Corvega factory of everything, but we need more traders. So we're going to come here to the Drumlin Diner, and that'll open up a new trader for me here. So. And then we may need to find some other traders besides that as well. I've got the beginnings of the front porch, and I'm gonna just keep building with what wood I have until I run out again. All right, some good progress. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it exactly like this. I may still make tweaks and changes. I still have other stuff to do with it, of course, but yeah, getting there for sure. But we are once again out of wood, so I think I'm going to make my way down to Diamond City and kill stuff on the way, sell stuff, and that way I'll be able to have more money to buy more shipments of wood. So, to Diamond City. All right, I had no problems getting down here, so hey, while I'm down here, let's travel east toward Good Neighbor. This is, after all, is Fallout 4 Broken on Xbox Series S, so let's go to the most problematic part of the map and see if we have any issues or not. So again, killing stuff on the way, and then I'll sell stuff once I get to Good Neighbor, assuming I can get to Good Neighbor. Yeah, had a slight frame rate drop, a little hiccup, but otherwise it seems to be running okay. Let's head north to Bunker Hill and keep making the money so that I can buy more shipments of wood. Things seem to be going pretty well. I didn't really come across much to sell in Bunker Hill, and while I'm down here, the radio signal for Automatron has started, and I do want to build robots, specifically robot provisioners. So let's head over there and get this DLC kicking off after I take out these psychos here. All right, scrap bots in front of me, new super mutants behind me. I'm being pinched in between, and we have my very first game freeze / crash. Let's put it on the board. Fortunately, I quick saved right before this whole fight, so not a big deal. But here you go. I was able to get to Good Springs and back, but as soon as I got close to the start point of Automatron, because I didn't clear out the enemies enough, it was too much for the game system, too much for the game engine, and I got my first crash. So, boo! Yeah, if I was playing on survival mode, I would be pissed off, because basically I had to take hour-long naps everywhere I could because of these game freezes. So I probably would have slept in Good Neighbor, probably would have slept an hour in Bunker Hill. So it wouldn't have sent me that far back, but with the playing Fallout as Tony Stark on survival, when I was going to leave the headquarters of the railroad, it was freezing immediately. As soon as I saw any enemy anywhere, it would freeze. Dozen times at least. I tried everything, turning off mods, shutting off all the mods in order to see if something was causing it, and in the end, couldn't continue the game at all. But regardless, I'm going to go back to Tenpines and keep building. And after a few more hours of building, and decorating, we are as done as we can be here. I've run out of materials to decorate with, and frankly, check out the build limit here. As you can see, nothing more can be built. I have hit the limit of the settlement. This is without using the glitch to change the bar, so obviously I didn't do that. I'm going to do that in later builds as a separate experiment. But yeah, I'm going to make a tour video for this. And then we've got 2 locations now that Preston have given us. Starlight Drive-In was first, so we'll do Starlight Drive-In next. And then the other one is Oberland, I believe. So we've got the next 2 locations picked out for us. On to Starlight Drive-In. I've got some ideas. So on that note, you have a great rest of your whatever. I will see you on the other side, and ta-ta.